Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Little Marketing Podcast, where we provide small business owners across the globe with smart and tangible marketing advice for your small business. So today we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated characteristics of marketing and for small business owners that make a massive impact on their business and on their profit. And what is that most underrated driver? It is consistency in your marketing. This stuff separates businesses that survive to those that thrive and grow their profit and their revenue. And it's not about luck or flashy ideas, it's about showing up every day and being consistent in your marketing. So today we're going to unwrap what consistency in your marketing means and how some tangible points that I'm going to provide to you are going to help in your marketing and ensure that you are consistent to give your business the best chance of success and the best chance of growing your profit in 2025 and beyond. So let's get into it. Now, when I talk about consistency in your marketing, I'm talking about the frequency of the activity that you're putting out there, as well as the consistency of the message that you're putting out there. But specifically today, I want to talk about the frequency and the importance of that in your marketing. So first up, I want to talk about being top of mind all the time. We live in such an over-communicated society, so it's making sure that when your customers and clients need to make a decision about who they want to buy from, if you haven't been top of mind, then it's going to be harder for them to choose you over the competition. Now, we hear a lot of small businesses talk about them not wanting to bombard and over communicate to their potential customers and clients, or even to their existing customers and clients. But I can guarantee you that not everybody is waiting for your communication or your email or your social media post every day. It's about just being out there, and the more that you're out there and the more frequent you are out there and the more consistent the activity is, the higher chance that you have of being top of mind and of your customers and clients choosing you over the competition. If you think about it from a customer or client's perspective and put yourself in those shoes, most buying decisions don't happen immediately. They take time. You need to build trust and credibility over a period of time for people to be able to decide whether they're going to buy from you or not. So if you haven't been top of mind and your marketing hasn't been consistent, then it's going to be harder for them when the time comes to be able to choose you, and not just choose you, but trust you as well. And I can guarantee you, if you're not showing up every day and you're not being top of mind, somebody else or the competition will be doing it. And that means that your customers and clients have a higher chance of going to your competition than they do with you. Don't be ashamed of being consistent in your marketing and just communicating as much as humanly possible. So regardless of what the activity is, whether it's social media posts, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's emails out to your database, whether it's text messages, it's about just doing it consistently so that people find it harder to forget you when the time comes for them to make a purchasing or buying decision. And when I talk about consistency, I'm not talking about always needing to sell and doing the hard sell on people. You can provide consistency in your communication by information, by free information, by giving highlights about what you do, about highlights of who you've helped, around the outcomes of the products that you sell. You don't always need to be hard selling and having some type of promotion around it, but more about educating your clientele and customers about what you do, who you do it for, and where you do it, and how you actually help them. The second thing about frequency and consistency is that it builds momentum and a compound effect in your marketing. Think about how a lot of our online platforms work. If you consume a certain type of information, then that platform is going to then continue to feed you similar information, which allows you to fall in the lap of your customers and clients without you having to actually promote yourself. But the key is just having content and communication out there so that the platforms can do their job and feed your information to your customers and clients. Every bit of marketing builds on the last. It's like a bit of a flywheel. It creates momentum and a compound effect in the marketing that you're doing. And you think about over a period of time, the compound effect of the activity that you're doing. So if you're doing, 3 social media posts a week, 1 email a week, that over a month, over a week, I should say, or a month, that doesn't seem like a lot, but over 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, that's a whole lot of marketing and a whole lot of consistency in your marketing, which builds absolute momentum. We've noticed even on our podcast, when we started doing our podcast, we weren't doing it regularly. Now that we have consistency and we do this podcast weekly, the numbers are consistently growing and they're consistently high. It's because we're constantly showing up and there's people clearly out there wanting to listen to the content that we put out there. And because they know that we do it weekly, they are showing up to consume our podcast on a weekly basis. So firsthand experience, I can see that this all actually works, and it's not just theory, and it's not just in the marketing that we do, but obviously all the marketing that we do with our clients, and we have done for the last 17 years. That momentum is key. And what I see a lot with our clients also is that when they start to see some results, they want to start to do more of that, because if they're seeing outcomes, why wouldn't they want to drive revenue, drive profit, drive customers, and drive clients? And you will be the same if you have consistency in your marketing as well. And it'll engage you in your own marketing to keep going and keep pushing forward, because you are seeing results and you are seeing that momentum. And because you're doing it regularly, you're going to create a bit of a rhythm and the energy in the marketing and the activities that you're doing, which will make it easier for you to continue doing it and create the momentum. And even if you're not doing it, but team members are doing it, it creates a rhythm and a consistency and energy around your marketing to continue to build that momentum. It's not too dissimilar to your health or nutrition plans. You're not gonna, if you're not consistent in eating healthy or going to the gym or training, you're not gonna see results, but you need to do it over time, create that compound effect in the training and the eating that you're doing to keep those calories down, or whatever the goal is that you're trying to achieve. It's not gonna happen overnight, and you need to be consistent. Point number 3, which can absolutely relate to health and nutrition as well. People pull the pin too early on their marketing. They do marketing for a week or maybe 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row, and are expecting this magic result and this magic pill in the results and the revenue and the profit of their business. But we all know that marketing is a long game. The old saying that Rome wasn't built in a day. It's about staying true to the course and building that credibility and that trust and getting that activity out there, being top of mind, consistently doing it. If you're ad hoc, it's going to be harder to stay top of mind. And if you're not consistent and you only do it for a month and you want that short-term win, things aren't going to happen. Not too dissimilar to training or nutrition. It's going to be the same issue. If you pull the pin only after a month because you haven't seen big enough results, then you know you're not going to achieve anything you want to achieve. So whether it's business or personal, whatever it might be, it's about staying true and being consistent in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and not giving up way too early. Now let's talk about point 4 in terms of trust. Now I mentioned trust earlier on. If you are showing consistency in your marketing, then people will look at you in a more positive and more credible light and a more trustworthy light, especially if you're feeding them information and free advice about what it is that you do, how you help them, whether it's the outcome of the product that you're trying to sell to them. If you're informing them and giving them inspiration and you talk in a credible light, then you have a higher chance of people choosing you over the competition, because consistency shows credibility and you reinforce that credibility and that trust in the communication. So it's a double whammy and a compound effect in your marketing. And because you're giving helpful information, whether it's via social, whether it's via videos, whether it's emails that go out to your database, whether it's SMSs, if you're giving informative advice and showing that you actually care and you're able to help and people can take information from what you've provided and have a good outcome, then you're definitely seen as a credible and trustworthy business that they will ideally remember, again, if your marketing stays consistent. And you also start to build trust with yourself. If you are consistent and you start to see some results, you build trust and confidence in your own abilities as a business owner and in your marketing, and that will no doubt give you some inspiration to keep going in your business and in your marketing. And the 5th key point, and this is one that we talk about a lot, is that your brand becomes really, really clear. If time and again you are communicating what it is that you do, who you help, how you help them, and where you help them, then people have a higher chance of remembering all of those things, and then they have a higher chance of them choosing you over the competition, because they start to understand why you're a little bit different to the competition as well. You can't create that memorability about why you're different if you aren't communicating on a consistent and a frequent basis. Again, we live in an over-communicated society, so if you are not repeating that message, it's going to be super hard for you to cut through. If you're reinforcing that message and you're reinforcing that positioning, and we talk a lot about positioning in all of our shorts and podcasts and all the content that we put out there. So just a quick snapshot. Positioning is all about positioning your business and your brand in the minds of your customers that are different to the competition, that eliminates the competition, or where there is the least amount of competition. So if you are communicating that positioning consistently, then you have a higher chance of people understanding what it is that you do and why you are different. So there are 5 key reasons why consistency is undervalued and why they play a big role in the success of your business. Momentum is key. Consistency is key. You need to stick at it. Don't pull the pin too early. You know that marketing is a long game. There's no magic pill, and it's about just putting in the hard yards. So if you feel like there's a small business owner that you know that would benefit from hearing this, make sure you share it with them today. Of course, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. Give us a rating and review, and we'll see you back next week.
Please note that all the information provided on this podcast is general in nature and is not intended to be specific advice to your individual situation. Please be sure to engage a professional for a customized approach to your business and personal circumstances.